He's right there, and then he moved to work at street. Yeah. So I told you. I know to do a lot of or oh, yeah, but that's straight up. Sorry, what about now? It's like what it's shooting. It likes the shooting. But there's some already. I don't know why, but someone has been going there and they've been taking it all out, not just like bringing it all. There's a whole bunch of holes there. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jamie and I will be your MC this morning. Welcome to Makawao Dharma Family Service. Please rise if you're able and let us begin the service by singing the Vandanati Sarana together in both Pali and English.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Buddhassa.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will now sing the Gatha Gasho with the Mira, which will be shown on the screens. Chanting will be followed by a quiet meditation.
Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I gasho with Amida, trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I gasho with Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seeds sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I gasho with Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I gasho with Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I gasho with Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I gasho with Amida. Nembutsu in work and play, every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light. I gasho with Amida. Remember the golden chain, kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I Basho with Amida in the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night. I Basho with Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I Basho with Amida. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land. Let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in, you'll feel energy filling your body. And as you breathe out, any stress or worries in your mind just fade away. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation.
Everyone is welcome to offer incense at this time as an expression of gratitude for the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Mahalo. Thank you. Let's all recite the golden chain of love together. Let's begin. I am the link
in a Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all the weaker things. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that what I do now depends not on my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Alita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namaste.
Please stand if you're able, and let's all sing the Gatha, Buddha Loves You. The lyrics will be shown on the screen.
Fly, little bird, Buddha loves you, little bird. Tweet, 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 tweet. Run, run, little pup, Buddha loves you, little pup. Bow, wow, 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 wow. Don't cry, pussycat, Buddha loves you, pussycat. Meow, 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 meow. Swim, swim, little fish, Buddha loves you, little fish.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Sorry, I got the nose thing that turned into a cough, so my throat's a little whacked out. And now it's children's Dharma story time. Just a comment on Buddha Loves You. I guess it was last week, I was the guest speaker at Windward, so Kailua and Oahu. They actually picked Buddha Loves You as the Gatha. For me, thank you. Interestingly, they didn't know the hand sign, the gestures. So we're going to have to implement that. So get ready, next year we're going to sing Buddha Loves You every Sunday. Maybe. Okay, so where's Bartlett? Okay, so good morning. Thank you for coming to the last Sunday service of 2025. And there's Lucy. I'd like to say thank you very much for everything you've done for us in the past year. And also God. So, Namo Amidas. So today's story is a good one, if I can find the thing. It brought to you by Auntie Jane is The Bicycle Man, written and illustrated by Alan Say. The Bicycle Man, written and illustrated by Alan Say. This book is dedicated for Morita Sensei. When I was a small boy, I went to school in the South Islands of Japan. The schoolhouse stood halfway up a tall green mountain. It was made of wood, and the wood was gray with age. When the strong wind blew, the trees made the sound of waves, and the building creaked like an old sailing ship. From the playground, we could see the town, the ships in the harbor, the shining sea. One fine spring day, we had our sports day. All the children and teachers were out in the playground long before the first bell rang. Did everybody remember to bring a headband? Asked Mrs. Morita. She was our first grade teacher.
Eagerly, we showed her our headbands. They were red on one side and white on the other. Remember, we're on the red team, she told us. We swept up the playground with all the brooms in the school. We tied colored flags and streamers to bamboo poles. We drew white lines on the ground with powdered chalk. Our parents came carrying tiered lunchboxes and kettles filled with tea. They spread their straw mats and sat around the oval track. When everything was ready, Mrs. Morita rang the bell. It was 9 o'clock. The principal stood on the platform and said, "Parents, teachers, parents, children, my fellow teachers, let us remember that we are gathered here in the spirit of sportsmanship. Whether we win or lose, let us enjoy ourselves." We cheered and clapped our hands. The youngest children were the first to race. We lined up 6 at a time at the starting line. "Okay, ready, set, go," Mr. Oka, the art teacher, boomed at us. We first graders leaped out and dashed around the track. Parents and teachers ran alongside us, yelling encouragement. The older children waved flags and headbands and shouted at the top of their lungs until the mountain echoed the noise like rumbling thunder. The judges went up. The winners went up to the judges' table and received prizes from the principal. The prizes were wrapped in white paper and tied with gold threads. Inside, there were oranges and rice cakes and pencils. By the time the 6th graders finished running, it was lunchtime, and that was the best part of sports day. My mother had cooked for 2 days, preparing good things to eat. The layers of lacquered boxes held pickled melon rinds and egg rolls, spiced fish, and fish cakes. There were apples and peaches and sweets of all sorts. In the afternoon, we had the tug of war and piggyback races. After that, the grown-ups had a race of their own. Parents and teachers paired up and tied their ankles together with headbands and hopped around the oval. We screamed with delight, and when they stumbled and fell on top of one another. We were cheering Mrs. Morita and someone's father when a hush fell on the playground. We stopped moving and talking and stared toward the gate. 2 strangers were leaning over the fence and watching us. They were American soldiers. One of them was a white man with bright hair like fire, and the other had a face as black as the earth. They wore dark uniforms with neckties, soft caps on their heads, and red stripes on their sleeves. They had no guns. "Look how black he is. Look at the red hair," we whispered. The war had been over for only a short while, not even 1 year. American soldiers had a base in the harbor, but we had never seen them in our mountains. I felt afraid. The foreigners smiled and waved at us. When the black man cleared the fence and came toward us, we all drew back and stared. He was the tallest man I had ever seen, and his clothes, such sharp creases, and his shoes shone like polished metal. The soldier walked in huge strides toward the school entrance where the principal's bicycle stood. He pointed to the bicycle and turned to the judge's table. The principal stood up slowly. "He wants the bicycle," someone said. "Maybe he doesn't know what it is." "No, he wants to ride it." The principal walked up to the American and bowed. He looked like a little boy greeting a giant. The tall man gave a deep bow, almost bumping heads with the principal. We started to giggle. We watched them talk to each other with their hands. The principal pointed to the bicycle, then to the man, and nodded. Yes, you are welcome to ride the bicycle, he seemed to say. The soldier put the palms of his hands together and smiled. The man took the bicycle by the handlebar, kicked up the stand, and rolled it out to the center of the playground. He motioned to us to make room, and then called to his friend. The other American was nearly as tall as the black man. He took off his cap and saluted us with a big bow. We giggled and bowed back. The strangers spoke to each other and nodded. The black man took off his jacket and handed it to the white man. Then he hoisted a long leg over the bicycle and began to pedal it round and round in a widening circle. His friend waved the jacket like a flag and cheered him to go faster. Suddenly, the rider yanked on the handlebar and lifted the front wheel off the ground. "Oh, look," we stirred. "How can he ride like that?" "What an athlete," said the art teacher. The red-haired man was the ringmaster. He ran alongside the bicycle and shouted encouragement. The rider went round and round with only one wheel, zigzagging this way and that. We were amazed. And then he rolled backwards. He sat on the bicycle with his body turned around. He had to twist his neck to see where he was going. He worked his long arms and legs like a huge dancing spider. We howled with wonder. The man rode backwards and then forwards, twirling the front wheel like a spinning gyroscope. He shouted something to the ringmaster, who grasped the carrier and began to push as fast as he could. And then he let go. The bicycle shot forward with great speed. The rider stood up on his pedals and, leaning on the handlebar, put both of his feet up on the carrier. He was in the air. His cap flew off and his necktie fluttered in the wind. He seemed to be flying free, cruising like an enormous dragonfly. "Oh, oh!" we exclaimed and gasped in turn. When the bicycle finally came to a stop on the playground roared with wild clapping of hands and shouting. The rider panted, heaving and laughing. The ringmaster rushed up to him and lifted him in a bear hug. We mobbed around him, jumping and yelling. The principal struggled through the crowd, and the black man reached out to him. They gripped each other's arms like old friends. The principal raised his arms to quiet us down. He took the soldiers' hands and led them to the platform. Then he whispered something to Mrs. Morita, and she brought the largest box from the prize table. The principal stood on the platform and held out the box to the Americans. He looked like the emperor awarding a great champion. The bicycle rider received the gifts with both hands and lifted it high above his head. And then he turned to the crowd. "Arigato, arigato," he said. "Thank you, thank you." The whole school bowed to him and shouted for joy. The Americans put their caps on and walked out the gate with their prize. They went down the mountain, arm in arm, waving and laughing. We followed them with our eyes until they disappeared around the bend in the road. The end. And there's this profile with the author. And that was the story, The Bicycle Man, written and illustrated by Alan Say. Gee, Sensei, that didn't seem like a children's story to me. Yes, I'm glad you caught up on that. A couple of interesting things that I've noticed. One, this is immediate post-war occupied Japan. And this is meaningful for me because I had two uncles who were in the military intelligence service, and they actually were in occupied Japan. So when the kids in the countryside first encounter American soldiers, wow, that would be quite a shock. If you have a chance to look at the book itself, if you look at the illustrations very carefully, the one where he shows the harbor, you can see warships in the harbor itself. So the author's remembering things. The other one I thought was interesting was Sports Day. If you've been to a Hongkanji event, it's very similar, right? There's all these games and races we play, and food, and yelling and screaming. So it just struck me that that's a lot like where these things come from. So Sharon, Murakami Sensei's plan for the Vidsta kickoff picnic, right? Playing games and stuff like that. You can see this all comes from Japanese culture like this. The other one, just to mention, I thought was kind of interesting, stereotyped images of foreigners, right? So, I mean, what's the most different person you can think of? A black man in Japan, right? A Caucasian man with red hair. I mean, for the Japanese, this is just absolutely shocking. When I went to Japan for the first time in the 1980s, I actually heard this expression, keto, which means red hair. Literally means red hair. And it refers to red-haired demons, so the opening of Japan and people with red hair were considered demons. Kokujin, black people. You know, in the 1940s, right, it's not like you have a lot of black people running around in Japan. And even when I went there in the 80s and the 90s, you didn't have a lot of black people running around. So it was just an interesting thing. I thought it was interesting that they tried to speak Japanese. The principal tries to use hand gestures to communicate. And the thing is, everybody has fun. The whole point of the story is that it's kind of a dramatic time, but everybody's having fun. One personal observation, with the kind of Japanese bicycles we're talking about, immediate post-war period, I don't think you could pop a wheelie because the bicycles look like this. So that's me in 2018 or 2017. I'm training at the seminary. During Obon season, you go from house to house. The priest comes to your house to do a 20-minute service. You do 10 of those a day, morning to evening. In the summer of Kyoto, wearing full garb. And this is a borrowed bicycle. If you've heard Dr. Takashi Miyaji speak, he was the keynote speaker at the Triple Celebration. This is actually his bicycle. He handed it down to me, which was handed down to him by 3 other people before him. So anyway, it'd be really hard to pop a wheelie on this bicycle. But anyway, that's the last Children's Dharma story time for 2025. So remember, be good, but not too much. So I'm just going to do a real quick one here. And again, thanks for joining us for the last Dharma family service, the last Sunday service. Sounds a little bit ominous, doesn't it? I mean, I wrote that to be provocative, but in fact, this is the last Dharma talk I'll ever give in the year 2025. Interesting. So I'm going to talk about Chomon, which is a technical term. You don't hear that often in English, but it's the practice of deep listening and hearing with intent. So let's go straight into that. So here's a 3-character set that is part of the teachings of Shinran, Mon Soku Shin, which literally means to hear is Shinji. It is faith. So Shinran teaches true hearing. So truly hearing the Dharma this equals faith. So the true cause of birth into the Pure Land and becoming a Buddha. So to intently listen to and deeply hear the truth reality of the Dharma. So in modern terms, this basically is talking about active listening. So let me show you what the advice looks like. So it looks like this in translation. Listen as if you are listening for the first time. 2, listen as if the message is for you alone. 3, listen as if this is the last time you will ever listen. So in Japan, some of the members will recite this together before the Dharma talk, in preparation to listen to the Dharma talk. And I have to say that a Dharma talk in Japan is one of 6 major services is when you call a professional speaker to come over. Okay. Speak for 45 minutes, then there's a tea break, and then there's another 45 minutes. I mean, these are serious lectures. And the people in the audience actually have studied quite a bit of Jodo Shinshu doctrine. So you have to keep, bringing more and more better, what they call fukyoshi, or professionally certified speakers, and have specialized training. So anyway, so let's take a quick look, at each of these words of wisdom, and particularly how we can apply this Buddhist practice in everyday life. So listen as if you're listening for the first time. Okay, in Zen, they talk about returning to the heart of the beginner. So that the first time you're sitting on the floor staring at the wall, it's actually quite painful. It hurts. I mean, it's physically difficult to sit on the floor if you're not used to it. But as you gain experience and you become, so you do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, it becomes easy for the ego to take it for granted. Right? How easy it is. You forget how much you struggled to get there. Another one, for example, ringing the Kancho temple bell. Floyd does this every Sunday. It's really hard the first time. I mean, I can give you a piece of paper that shows the schematic for how it's done. I can explain that 7 strikes, crescendo, decrescendo, 5 strikes, crescendo, decrescendo, then 3 strikes, hard, soft, hard. And there's a whole reason why we'd be doing these things. But it's really easy to mess up. Particularly the 100th time you've done it. Right? The first one, you're just like crazy. The first 10 times, you're worried about it. And then you start getting used to it. And it becomes easy because you think you can do it. You start thinking about something else, you lose your place. If you watch very carefully, you'll see me, I'm counting the number of strikes. 1, 2, 3. I have it down here so you can't actually see it. Because you will forget, was that 6 or was that 7? Oh. And then the crescendo, etc. So, again, right, listen as if you're listening for the first time. Return to the heart of the beginner. So in reality, right, if we think about it, what do we take for granted? The important things in life that we take for granted, family, friends, community, we just assume. We take it for granted. That this group of people will be here next Sunday as well. We just take it for granted. When in fact, as Buddhists, we know the truth of impermanence applies to all things. But if you can return to the heart of the beginner, particularly in Zen training, they talk about this. Every experience, every moment, every connection is new, and thus you remember it. So if you treasure and cherish family, friends, community, your life becomes fuller. It's filled with aloha and connection. Another one, I love this one. My Buddhist flower arrangement teacher at the seminary was also a grandparent. She was a grandma. She was a master instructor in Ikenobo, which is the original school of flower arranging. And she's the head priest of the family temple, so she has some presence. Most of my classmates were in their 20s, they're college students, they're just fooling around. So they wouldn't be dressed properly. We're supposed to be ready to go at the beginning of class, and then the class monitor says, for that day, says, "Kiritsu, stand up at attention. Late, back. Kiritsu, sit down." But she would do things like, "Not yet. He's not dressed," and would point people out. And then so the guy would be like this, and he goes, "Not yet. Your wakiasa is crooked. Every time you stand up, make sure you check it to make sure it's even." So she was really scary. But the most important thing she taught me, Carrie, shut up and listen to the flowers. Right? Close your mouth. Listen to the flowers. The flowers will tell you everything you need to know. So as you do these things, you learn the theory, you learn the structure. It's actually there's a formula for how to do this. But she was just saying, let go of your ego and let the flowers tell you how they want to be. Free yourself of preconceived ideas and let the flowers guide you. So remembering the joy of discovery. So think of this, right? Listen as if you're listening for the first time. Cadence, our grandson, he was 5. He's not going to forget the first time he ever made friends with a bunny. So yes, as you grow up, you can see more bunnies, and it's like, oh, okay. But that very first time, what would it be like? What would your life be like, right, at this point, if you could reignite that curiosity of a 5-year-old? So when he does anything for the first time, right, he's 100% concentration, and he's using all of his senses. He's using everything he's got. So if you actively listen, if you listen with the intention of hearing the meaning in real life, right? So for example, I'm always telling the same story over and over again, but Mimi will smile and kind of go, and pretend that she hasn't heard the story before. And again, right, if you do that, if you pretend, you just return to the heart of the beginner. So it's like, Carrie, we've heard this story before. It's okay, just pretend. Return to the heart of the beginner. Listen with new ears. The second one, listen as if the message is for you alone. So Shinran's great realization was that the Nembutsu teachings of Buddhist compassion wasn't for everybody else, it was for him. So it was the realization that he was the most karmically inept, and thus the vow was for him. This was his spiritual breakthrough. And I've read the quote before. And so this is where he says, if you truly hear the Dharma, if you truly hear the calling voice of Amida, that is what results in faith, in Shinjin. So in real life, if you go out of your way to seek out new sources of Dharma, because Dharma talks are just one form of the Dharma. If you go online now, you can find all kinds of Dharma talks. But the Dharma Learning Corner behind us, this whole section of books, the Dharma's there. If you attend interfaith services, if you go attend somebody else's religious services, it gives you different perspective on your own faith. So it's very common, so I would say use Christianity to become a better Buddhist. Right? The Dalai Lama is always quoted as saying, use Buddhism to become a better Christian. It's question mark whether he actually said those words or not. But you think about it, right? If you look at faith in a Judeo-Christian sense and then compare it to Jōshinshu, what does it teach you? There's all kinds of stuff out there. There's the Everyday Buddhism program. We have brochures over there that BCA puts out. There's the Jōshinshu correspondence course if you want advanced training in doctrine. Next year, we're going to be launching minister lay assistant training. So, if you'd like to learn the skills and knowledge that you need to become a minister, become a priest, I'm going to start teaching that. We're going to be doing the minister retreat, the lay minister assistant retreat on Maui next year. So more than likely we'll be hosting it here because I'm only minister crazy enough to do stuff like that. But if you'd like to learn, how do I set up the altar? You've noticed that we've dressed the altar with the altar cloths this time. How do you do that? What is the theory of Buddhist flower arranging? Why do we have a red candle today? Stuff like that. So again, there's all these opportunities to push your spiritual boundaries, as it were. And in real life, right, listen as if you were listening for your name to be called at Starbucks. Yeah, the Starbucks, the one the last place is crazy. It's super noisy. There's people coming in and out, and they're calling your name, and may or may not be correct. But the human voice, when you want that caffeine, it'll filter all that other stuff out, and you'll hear your name. So in Jodo Shinshu, they talk about Namo Amida Butsu being the calling voice of Amida. So that when you hear Namo Amida Butsu, right, this is Amida calling to you. Take refuge, take refuge. So the question, of course, is, are you listening? And do you hear this voice? So listen as if this was the last time you will ever listen in your life. This is the last time you're going to have a chance to listen to stuff. So Japanese culture, Bushido, the code of the samurai warriors, right? Be prepared to die at any time. So that if you're prepared to die at any time, you can enter a battle, with 100% focus. And so this is, said to free the warrior to focus on the battle that's in front of him. And so if you knew, right, without a doubt, that today was your last chance to listen, to hear the Dharma, to say Namo Amida Butsu, to entrust in great compassion, to assure your birth into the pure Dharma, would it change anything? Would you listen with more intent? Would you try to deeply understand what is being said? Or you just go, same old, until emergency alert, ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii, seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. I think everyone, right, like 9/11, Right? Everyone remembers exactly where they were when you first heard this news. I mean, if you're in Honolulu, it's going to show up on your phone, right? But you hear it from, I mean, we were in Kyoto, and our son called us just saying there's this weird, ballistic missile threat inbound, so just in case, I'm on the call. And of course, at the time, as it turned out, it was a mistake. It was not real. But it's about as real as it gets. Right? Now, of course, I read the Letter of White Ashes like all the time for funerals and formal rituals and stuff. So I'm constantly reminding myself of the truth of impermanence. But sometimes it takes a ballistic missile inbound thing. Listen, as if it was the last time. So if many of you have heard the expression ichigo ichia, which we kind of spin positively. But if you think of it this way, right, so the conclusion of this Dharma talk is simply this. What is this trying to teach us? Treasure each moment in this unrepeatable life as if it was the first time, as if it was for you and you alone. And treat each encounter, each moment of this unrepeatable life as if it were the last time. As if it were the last time. So, this is the Buddhist approach to listening to Dharma talks. And thank you very much for listening. So actually I have a whole bunch of other stuff in terms of Chomwa, but we'll skip over that for now. Okay, let's go. Very good. Well, thank you. Back to Jenny.
Thank you, Reverend Carey. Let us all chant the Metta Sutta, the Loving Kindness Sutra together.
See if my voice will come out. Okay. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
Please rise if you are able, and let us sing a doksan, which will be found on the screen. Please remain standing and let us sing the Nembutsu, which will be found on the screen.
perceive the light that grasps me. Yet the great compassion, without tiring, illumines me always. The Wisdom of Shinran Shonin, Hymns of the Pure Land, verse number 95. The Collected Works of Shinran, volume 1, page 385. Namo Amida.
Please be seated.
So once again, let's sit together quietly for a few moments. Just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat, place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight, align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes halfway, so you're looking both outwardly and inwardly. And just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in, think of something for which you are grateful. And as you breathe out, just say mahalo. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. Namanda, Namanda, Namo.
Oh, we have announcements. So on December 31st, we'll have, at 6 p.m., we'll have the New Year's service, the Joya E.
Sorry, that's 5 p.m.
Oh, 5 p.m., sorry. 5 p.m. And then with Toshi Koshi Soba, or the Crossing the Year noodles. And then here's the quick preview of January. So on New Year's Day, we'll have a first service of the New Year at 9 a.m. Called the Gatan E, with the ozoni soup, the Japanese ozoni soup, the honorific mixed bowl soup. And then January 4th, we'll have First Sunday with the monthly memorial, birthday, and Dharma school. And then January 11th is our Onko's Shinran Memorial Service, and Reverend Yuike Hasebe will be joining us again. And she is one of our first woman to be appointed to the Renbom of the Betsuin Temple in Hawaii as our guest speaker. So please don't miss out. And then we have on January 18th is the regular Dharma school service, and the 25th as well, Dharma family service. Oh, and the Shinenkai. Okay. Auntie Karen. Is this you?
Is this me? Okay, I'll say whatever. Well,
Come up to the microphone so people who are watching live stream can see it. Otherwise, they can't hear you. It's the other thing we discovered.
thank you. As the sensei had said, I'm getting emotional now. This is our last service for 2025. And I'd like to thank all of you for your support. And as we enter 2026, I think we will need your support and blessings as we go forward. However, I really appreciate those of you who have stepped up and was so willing to share and to support me in the position that I'm in. And with that being said, I just want to say thank you. And so on the 25th of January, please join us for our Shineng Kai. And we have church service. After the church service, we'll have our meeting. And what is it called? It's called Diane. Then we'll have a meeting, and then we go up to the social hall for refreshments. And so please, everyone join us, because everyone needs to celebrate with everybody else, you know. And now we're in the talks. Can I just say this? We're in the talks of planning events as we go through 2026. And as you can see, we really need support of everybody else if we're going to continue to do like money-making projects, garage sales, and that kinds of things. So please be willing to help out, and if we do have it, or if we don't, then what else can we do to make money for the temple, to sustain the temple? Any questions, comments? Volunteers to do anything? Okay, you will be approached. Okay, not just by me, by other people. So thank you very much, and Happy New Year, you guys.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Okay, please, thank you for attending this morning service. Please join us for refreshments at the social hall. Thank you.
Thank you.